Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Martin, and I'm here with my trusty co-pilot, Keith Gray. How you doing, Keith?
Hey, doing all right. Just hanging out on Monday night with nothing to do. So, let's talk some football. I mean, I think we got a big interview here. What do you think?
We got a huge interview. I want to welcome everybody, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Jerry, how you doing, buddy?
Hey there, boys. I'm not sure what in the world show I'm on. This is Fox or is this CBS?
We'll go with CBS. How about that?
Sounds good. Tell that James Brown I said hello. Hey, you know what? If you blow in his left ear, it whistles out his right.
That's some pertinent information right there. I'll tell you what. Jerry, is it okay if I call you Jerry? I know some owners Jerry, like our own like to be a little bit formal. And you okay with us calling you Jerry?
Well, I don't have the little man syndrome. And honestly, I'm just a regular guy, just like you, except I got a couple extra $1 billion.
Fair enough. We appreciate that. We appreciate your
candor. Don't let it put you off.
I would like to start. As you know, at the beginning of last year, we had to go through a name change. I know you and Dan are buddies. What's your thoughts of Dan changing the name finally?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I am not in favor of it. I thought it was a big mistake. Hell, I wish he'd change it back. I'd wish he'd change it back before September gets here. We here down in Dallas, we didn't have no problem beating up on the Redskins every goddamn year. Now he's done gone and changed everything to the Washington football team, and we ain't beat them since. I mean, god dang it, I like me a patsy. And frankly, it ain't as much fun whooping up on the Eagles and the Giants, especially Philadelphia. Those people ain't got no reasonable expectation for much.
I hear you.
It's just not as much fun.
I think it's safe to say that the majority of us are right there with you.
Change it back.
Well, Jerry, Keith here.
Yes, sir.
Definitely want to go ahead and ask you this question. What do you think about Dan and all these allegations that are happening with the Washington football team?
Yeah.
All the front office stuff that's happened here as of recent.
Frankly, it's only been a matter of time. Dan's always run a loose ship, and I'm not quite been a fan of it. And let's just say this is why I keep my closets double nuclear locked with steel vault doors you couldn't blow a hole through with a goddamn tank. You feel me over there, boys? Now listen, I'm just kidding around, right? I've long believed in the principle that if you just do whatever the hell you want right out in the open, nobody cares. I mean, here's Dan Snyder getting busted for looking up some girl's skirt. Here's Jerry Jones with pictures of me getting a Hummer in a goddamn toilet. That was great. Ain't nobody cared. I mean, come on. We're all boys here, right? I mean, what the hell's the point of making a ton of money and buying a pro football team if you can't have yourself a cheerleader or two on a leash? I mean, hell, I done spent $1 billion. I should be able to make them wrestle in a swimming pool filled with honey. You know what I'm saying there, boys? That's why we go to work. I mean, god dang it, if it was up to me, they'd be dancing topless out there. That's what the goddamn fans want. I mean, really, all we got them right now wearing is nothing but a maxi pad and a push-up bra. So why the hell not? That's what I say.
I think we're catching what you're throwing there, Jerry. I really do.
Right, but I'm going to deny every bit of it.
So, Jerry, are you hold on, Jerry? Are you currently drinking right now?
What time is it? Oh, never mind. That's just a joke I tell to my lawyer.
Speaking of who's bigger, you and Dan like to go off on your yachts a lot. Have y'all measured size boats? I mean.
Look, I'm going to tell you what. When I pull mine into the harbor, Dan's gets all shrivelly. That's all I got to say. Dan, he flies around on himself in a yacht. I travel around on a floating island. The USS Eugenia, baby. We are stocked up with cheerleaders because I'm outside the 3-mile limit.
I don't even know where to go with this. Oh Jesus,
Jerry, okay. There seems to be something wrong with your camera. Is everything okay on your end? You're kind of breaking up and your camera's going in and out. You doing all right over there?
I'm doing just fine. There's one thing I said earlier about just doing everything you want right out there in the open and nobody caring, but you don't have to take a picture of it. You follow me? If somebody happens to kick open the bathroom door and catch you there, we'll just smile and say, hey. But other than that, don't show nobody.
Gotcha.
Well, Jerry,
every time I show my booth on the middle of a game right there, half the time it's just a cardboard cutout. Most of the time I'm taking a nap.
Jerry, I'm gonna have to reel you in a little bit.
All right.
All right, let's get a little serious here. Now, Jerry, as you know, Dak is definitely a guy out there that everyone's wondering, what exactly are the Cowboys doing with Dak? And, I'm not going to lie to you, there's definitely some interest around in the Washington football team, fan base in bringing Dak in the event if you guys choose not to sign him. So my question to you is, or not sign him, I'm sorry, but give him this big contract. But before we get into that, what was your reaction when Dak got hurt?
Well, at first I was thinking, where the hell is my goddamn drink? I know I put it down here someplace. And I hear everybody hollering, and I got up and I looked down there and I saw Dak rolling around, and I thought, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God I ain't got to pay him now. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was sweating right there for a little while. Let me tell you, right there. His ankle went and twisted up a fat boatload of bargaining strength for old Jerry.
On the subject of Dak, what's the hesitation? Why aren't you going to sign him to a big contract? What's the holdup?
Well, to get serious for a minute, boys, this is why it's called a contract year. Am I right? This guy is supposed to play their best in the contract year so they can go and get paid, right?
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right out there, breaks his ankle right at the start of it. Now, look, this is a bottom line business, and the Dallas Cowboys is trying to win me another goddamn Super Bowl before I die. Dak going and letting his ankle get all fucked up like that's just showing that he just ain't the team player that the Cowboys need back there under center.
Don't you think that's a little harsh, though?
Hey, it's like I told you, it's a bottom line business. Cutthroat. Besides, we got Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton. You hear me? It ain't even no use. I can't even convince myself that goofy looking ginger boy can do anything for us. He don't look like no goddamn cowboy. You ever seen a cowboy with his hair all pulled up like that? What do you think would have happened if John Wayne all pulled up like that? We'd have had a generation of Nancy boys. I can tell you that. Jesus Christ, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you right now, boys, because I don't think this podcast is going to get to more than 3 or 4 people. So I'll admit that I done paid Mary Cooper way too much money, and I plumb forgot about that. I'm old as dirt. I don't know. What do you? I can barely stop myself from peeing my pants when I'm on TV.
Well, listen, Jerry, in the event if you decide that you're not going to pay Dak, are you going to be okay if he decides to come to the Washington football team?
Oh, I tell you what, I don't see why not. I mean, damn, it's probably the safest place for me to send him, If there's anything that Dan Snyder knows how to do better than just about anybody, it's fuck up a good thing. And right now, his Washington football team is looking like they're going to start winning some football games. So it's high time for Dan to step in and do his thing. It's like the sun comes up, feel me? You can count on it.
I think that's the most accurate thing you've said the whole goddamn interview.
I definitely feel you, Jerry.
He's going to do something. He's going to do something.
I have a fan question. Our buddy on Twitter at New Era Culture. We want to talk about this rumor. Is it true that Chris Cooley actually hung up the phone on you and said he'd never play with the Cowboys?
He did, and it's really, he makes it sound like it's a lot more than it was. Frankly, I had too much Patron. I thought it was the pizza man. I called him up and asked for a pepperoni, and it turns out it was Chris Cooley. He told me to go fuck myself, and that was the end of it.
So it wasn't a very long conversation, huh?
It certainly was not. As soon as I found out he didn't even have extra cheese, I was out of there. Forget it.
All right, Jerry.
Chris is a real nice boy. But I had Jason Witten here for, God, it seems like 30 or 40 years. So I wasn't in the market for any tight end.
All right, Jerry. Another fan question from a good friend of ours, at Mike Reed 2156. Old Dad. He wants us to ask Jerry how he feels about the way South Park portrayed him. Are his eyes really that wonky?
Well, I'll tell you something right here. I watched that South Park. I watched it on a TV over on the left wall, and then I watched it on a TV over on the right wall on the same time. This is why I bought myself a big goddamn ship. They won't let me drive a car anymore because I run it all over the damn place. I can't see what I'm doing. So I get myself a big ship, get out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it don't make no difference. Those boys on South Park, they can do whatever they want. It don't matter to me. As long as they got that honey down in my lap with the blonde hair, I was happy about it.
And also that money too, right?
Oh, of course. I'm sitting out here swimming in it. Did you know how much money an ice storm in Texas can make a man?
God, no. No, you didn't. Oh, well,
Jerry, you spend a lot of time talking about your yacht. How much time do you actually spend on it during the off season?
As much time as I can use to get away from as many taxes as I can. That's kind of the whole point. I get out in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and then I can tell everybody I don't live in any country whatsoever, none whatsoever at all. So that's pretty much it. I stay out there. I stay where it's warm. And if I don't like which way the sun's coming up, I tell Pablo to turn the boat around, and we're all good to go.
Oh, Jerry.
Sorry.
All right. Well, listen, Jerry, we know that your time is super valuable, right? So
And sure it is. I'm about ready to turn over and get this girl to put some more oil on my back.
All right, Jerry. One last question for you before we wrap this up, because we know that your time's valuable. Go ahead and give us your prediction. What's the NFC East going to look like coming up this season?
Well, as much as I hate to say it, the Washington football team does sure look good with that feller Chase Young. I tried to get him deported, but it turns out he's a goddamn citizen. What the hell is that? It didn't work a bit. So I'm afraid of them. Philadelphia, I don't know what the hell they're doing, and guess what? Neither do they. So I think they're safe in that regard. And every time I look up in New York and see that yokel there, Danny Jones, I just start laughing. So the only thing I'm really worried about is that Washington football team. As long as they don't get themselves a quarterback, I think the Cowboys is going to be just fine with Andy. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't even say it.
Well, wait a minute. So, obviously we're going to go head to head twice a year. Who's taking the wins, Jerry?
Well, I'd like to have said it would be the Cowboys, but I'm stuck with Andy goddamn Dalton unless I do something stupid with that. So I really don't know.
Jerry, I got one more for you.
Sure.
What do you think the Washington football team should do at the quarterback position? Alex Smith is set to be released. We got Taylor Heineke and Allen possibly coming back. But other than that, we're kind of, we shot our shot with Stafford, but unfortunately we didn't get him. What do you think Dan should do?
Well, I'll tell you something right now. I've got Operation Fuck It Up Dan running in place right now. Every time he turns on his TV, I am piping in some of the worst quarterback play in Division II football. And he's going to step into that draft room at number 19 and swear up and down that he's got the latest savior for the Washington football team. And that's where I'm counting on Dan doing his usual dance around his coach and fuck everything up. So I guess that's what I'm thinking that they'll do with the quarterback position. If it's up to Dan, shit, they might start his dog. He's fast, right?
Oh,
I got nothing else.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, listen,
Yeah.
we appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy man. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and our 3 to 4 listeners. So anytime you want to chit chat, just hit me through the text. You got my number now, and we'll definitely love to have you back on, and maybe we get you back on this season when the games are going, and we'll see how all this plays out.
That would be fine with me, boys. It's a good thing to have talked to you and to have met you and all of the people out there in podcast land. So
Yeah, we really
this is Jerry
appreciate it.
Jones. Yeah, signing off. And hey, Esteban, fill me up again.
Later, Jerry.
Well, I'm at a loss for words. That was one hell of a interview with the Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones. Exclusive. You're not going to hear it anywhere else but this podcast. Keith, your thoughts?
Jerry's a wild man. We kind of knew that if you put a mic in front of his face, he's going to talk. But you get some alcohol under Jerry and he talks a little bit too much.
Yeah. We'd like to thank Jerry Jones, and I would take it his drunk or coked up PR people over there for scheduling this interview. And hopefully we can do it do it again real soon. Well, that's going to be us. That's going to be it for us. We would like to thank all of our listeners. If you have any questions or comments about today's interview, you can go ahead and DM Keith. My DMs are closed at the moment.
You're going to send the heat over to me. Okay.
And thanks for listening. You can hit Keith up at KG Skins 26 on Twitter. And if you must, you can hit me up at Jesse's 24. Jesse's, is it Jesse's? Yes. JESSYS 24 at Twitter. We got a new Twitter handle for the podcast. Keith, why don't you tell them about it? I don't even know what it's called.
Oh, I wasn't even ready for you. So we definitely did start a new handle, so that way we can push out the content on there and not annoy everyone with our own, back and forth and retweets and all. So it's out there. So if you want to follow them, hold on, let me pull these guys up here because I actually don't remember it off the top of my head here.
Bleeding Berg Pod.
Yeah. Bleeding Berg Pod. Yep. Good call. Thank you.
BLEEDINGBURGPOD. Hit us up.
Hit us up. Just get us a follow. And like I said, we'll, start, letting everyone know when some content has dropped. We'll also do it on our personal handles too, but
for now, and then we'll slowly go off of that just so we're not clogging up everything with stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, listen, we don't got to go home, but what do we got to do?
We can't stay here.
So we got to get the hell out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We'll work on that one next time.
I'm still a little bit flabbergasted about that pool we just got. So, all right, guys, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.
See you.